So before I get into the video, just want to mention a couple things about this channel and everything. So in my next video, I'm going to go over the next couple of videos I'm going to make throughout October. I'm probably going to be uploading around 3 videos a week, so I just want to mention that first. Other thing is, again, I just want to do my thing that I've been doing over the last couple of videos, is just mention that I'm definitely on pace to hit 1,000 subscribers before the election. Probably would have been by the end of the month, but I haven't uploaded in the last 2 weeks. I've just been up with school and college and everything, so apologize for that, but I'm going to try and get a couple more videos out a week. Thanks everyone for actually subscribing to this. I mean, this video alone got, I don't know why, but exactly 100 subscribers. But I wanted to use it as an example because it's the last one that did really well, and still 95% of people weren't subscribed here. So you'll see that even 20 or 19 times the amount of people, I could have gotten 1,900 from this. Probably not a good comparison because obviously not everyone would, but that's my point. I just want to mention that I love interacting with every one of you here. Just thanks everyone for coming to these videos and those who do choose to come back to them. All right, goodbye. Hello, today's September 22nd. Today I'm going to be going over my presidential election predictions for November, and I'm just going to go over how I do the margins first, and then I'm going to go straight into the safe states and everything. For those who are new, I predicted every state in 2020 correctly. That's kind of my legacy here, and if you want to know more about that, I made a video and I put the link in the description about that. So hopefully I can do that twice in a row, but this is supposed to be a much more difficult election to predict than before, so we'll see. The colors I have on North and South Dakota right now mean safe Republican, which would be 15 points or more of a victory. So if Trump had 60% of the vote here and Harris had 40% of the vote, that's a 20% win. That's safe red. This would be likely, which is 7 to 14.9%. So that would be if you had 57% of the vote to 43, that's a 14-point win. That's likely. Anything between 7 and 14% is likely. And then 2 to 6% is a lean state, or 6.9%. So if you won 53 to 47, that's 6%. That's a lean state. And anything under 2% of a win, so 51 to 49 or less, would be a tilt state. And that's just the reason I do that is primarily because it just shows the margins better on the map, if that makes sense at all. So if I was gonna make 10 points a safe state, then I probably wouldn't have Maine. I would have Maine as safe, and I don't like having Maine in the same categorization for Democrats as I do with Massachusetts and Maryland, which I'll just start with the safe Democrat states: not North Dakota, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, Maryland, DC, Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, Hawaii. Let me lock this map real quick. I'll do Illinois actually first. Maine's first district. Those are the safe Democrat states. All right, now let me lock the map. Lock map. So I can't move it now. Hopefully this is going to be fine then. Safe Republican states: North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah. Probably it's probably not going to shift enough for Democrats to make it under safe, but yeah. Montana, same thing. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana. Probably so far the average here is it's likely for Harris, but I think for Trump, but I think he'll win it by 18%, maybe 22%, something like that. And then I'll add in Missouri and Nebraska's 3rd district and Nebraska at large. I think that's it. That's what I'll do for the safe states. So obviously if you're Republican, you're probably asking, if you haven't watched any of these videos before, Nebraska's 1st district, Kansas, Florida, Ohio, Iowa, Texas, South Carolina, Alaska. Yeah, you're going to win all of them, but probably not by 15%. I think the much more safe states I give for you guys that aren't in that margin would be South Carolina, Kansas, Alaska, and Nebraska's 1st district. So Kansas is one of the fastest Democrat shifting states in the country, and it's probably going to be around a 13-point win for Trump here. In 2020 and 2022, I meant it. Jerry Morin did win here by a safe margin, 21%. But Trump only won here by 14.9%, so you could look at that as a red shift. But in general, the state used to be like 40 points red, and now it's like 15, 20 points red. Like, Kansas is one of maybe the only other state that's shifting faster than Kansas is either Alaska, Nebraska, or Texas. Those are all pretty fast blue shifting states. And don't worry, I'll get into the red shifting states in a moment. That's why New Jersey's not in there, and I'm debating about New York, but New York's probably going to be safe still, like 18%. I think that's a good prediction. 17 to 18% of a win for Harris, which Republicans should generally be ecstatic about. The fact that New York is shifting, and that is a state they could carry in like 2036. I'm going to move, Iowa. I'm not really moving that many state calls. I'm moving more state calls than I am actual margin shifts. Like, obviously, Iowa, Ohio are still likely red. Florida's still going to be likely red. I know there's a lot of Democrats who think that Harris has a good chance in Florida. And I'm sorry, I just really don't believe that she does. I just, for no reason do I think that she has a chance in Florida. But something I do want to talk about, we've already gotten some turnout numbers for early voting. And that's why I wanted to wait a couple days, and I wanted to wait more a little bit after the debate to see how things have changed. And things have changed a lot. Harris is now up like 4 points nationally in most of the good rated polls. And I might do a poll analysis video for 2022. That's probably what I'm going to do this year as well. After the election, I'm going to do a video saying like which polls were the best, because oddly enough, I believe it was Emerson College in 2022 that got almost all the swing state races for the Senate within 1 to 2 point margins, and almost all of them were correct calls. Every single one of them. They were one of the only pollsters that had Nevada going blue in 2022. That was the only mistake I made in the Senate. So yeah, that was Emerson College is a great pollster, and I believe they had her up, let's say, probably like 4%. I've seen Harris up 6%, 5%, 4%. I haven't seen Trump lead in any real polls, and by real polls, I mean like good polls, for a long time. Like, by that, I mean before the debate. It's been since before the debate since I've seen him leading nationally in anything. MSNBC came out with a poll today, having Harris up 4. Again, generally, it doesn't matter. What matters is the shift we're seeing in general with the polls. So Harris is doing a couple points better than she was before the debate. We don't know exactly how she was doing, because that really just goes to election day, but we can assume that if she did lose the debate, then she would be doing a couple points worse based on the fact that she's doing a couple points better. And that's something important for Democrats. But what I wanted to mention about the voter turnout is I can't remember if I had Virginia as lean last time, but I am solidly putting it at likely now. The turnout numbers for Virginia were down almost everywhere besides Fairfax County. So yeah, that's good. That's a good sign for Democrats. Now, I don't know if that's going to be if it's still going to shift red from 2020. It probably will, a couple points maybe. It might have maxed out its blue shift since 2004, because it used to be a lot more red. Not red in general, but more red than it is now. It's okay. If you don't know Fairfax, Virginia, it's pretty much half the state, and it's up twice the amount in early voting as it is now. I'm just trying to say voter turnout is high in Northern Virginia, which is where Democrats are leading. I'm sorry I stuttered so much talking about that. And I'm also going to move, I'm keeping New Jersey, and I'm going to move Delaware to safe. I'm moving Delaware to safe blue, because frankly, we don't have enough data. And I think that in general, Delaware's, like, if you look at the voter registration we had for August, Republicans aren't making gains in like smaller states. They're making gains in the big states, and then in some of them, they're like Florida, New York, Pennsylvania. They're making big gains in voter registration, but they're down in voter enthusiasm. Plus, like, the only thing I can think of that will get Delaware Republicans out to vote higher than they did in 2020 would maybe be that there's a transgender nominee for Congress and they want to vote, that they really, really, really do not want in power. So that's the only thing I can think of that will get Delaware Republicans out to vote. New Jersey's another state where it's like pretty moderate. Like, if Republicans carried this state in 2032, 2036, it's not absolutely crazy. Like, New Jersey's always been on the moderate side. They had Chris Christie. They never vote for a Republican, for a Democrat by a very safe margin. By like, when's the last time anyone won New Jersey by 25+%? I can't even tell you that. I hope Obama did. I think Obama won it by like 22% in 2008. I hope that's correct. If it's not, I feel pretty stupid. But in general, 2000 and 2004, New Jersey was competitive. 2008 and 2012, obviously Obama had his he just did so good in the North. But see, 2016, it was a likely state. 2020, it shifted back for Biden. But I believe I think Harris is going to get less moderate votes than Biden did. Like, she's not going to get white moderates to come out for her like Biden did. And that's a lot of what New Jersey is. I don't think she's getting that. I do think Tim Walz is going to carry Harris. And it's going to be one of the main states where Harris does better than Biden did, and it's not because of Harris alone. It's just because Tim Walz. I do think it has a bigger effect than people think, especially having a vice president from there. You could say the opposite for J.D. Vance. You could say you could move Ohio down the lean, especially with Sherrod Brown's race. The last poll that came out for the Ohio race actually should concern Democrats, the Senate race. It's because that is the first poll I've seen in months that's had that Republican candidate out, and that was from ActiVote, which is a blue pollster. They oversample Dems a lot, which, I mean, they adjust for that, obviously. My point is, like, it's some scary stuff. Democrats can't really afford to lose any more than they're already going to lose in the Senate. They're probably not going to get it as it is. But they might make up for that in Texas. The last Senate poll in Texas, they were leading against Ted Cruz. Now, Harris was still down 3, and I expect her to lose by 4.5, something like that. I still expect a blue shift from 2020, or at least a very similar win from 2020 for Trump. I'm going to give him a cap of 6.7%. He's not really going to move it more than a point more towards his way, because I don't think the shifts really allow for that. That's just how I'm going to do it. New Mexico, New Hampshire, and Maine, they're all blue states. I've seen some Republicans try... I actually made a tweet about this because some Republican made some absolutely wild prediction map where they had New Jersey, New York, every swing state, including Minnesota, New Mexico, and New Hampshire, and Maine, all as red states. No. If you are actually a Republican, you're going in thinking you have a chance in, like, New Jersey or New York, especially New York. I mean, New Jersey could be a wild card, like if Obama won Indiana, kind of thing. I don't think. No, that still doesn't make sense. Obama was probably supposed to win Indiana. I think, like, with the polls. I looked at the 2008 polls before, because I wanted to see how they changed in accuracy. 2008 polls were pretty accurate. I believe I think a lot of people had what happened in 2008, but you switch Indiana and Missouri. I think a lot of people thought Obama was going to win Missouri. But whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I want to hurry up a little bit more. I'm going to go into North Carolina, which is another state Democrats have really, really, really high hopes in, especially considering if they can't win Pennsylvania, they need North Carolina plus Nevada, which I'm pretty confident Harris wins Nevada. Again, the more independents that are gained throughout voter registration, the more I think Harris has an advantage in states like Nevada and Arizona. I am going to give Trump back Arizona today, by the way. Last video, I had the same map as 2020. I am giving Trump back Arizona. Again, I just cannot see Harris pull this far behind Gallego and believe Harris can really comfortably win Arizona. Again, like, this is going to change really late October, probably. I might move it back. Especially if Harris shows up to an empty podium for the second debate that she just accepted, that Trump declined. If she shows up to an empty podium or gets a town hall, like, I think just Harris getting a platform to speak at all really helps with her strive that she's been trying to do with independent voters and moderate Republicans. But back to North Carolina, I'm giving Trump... I'm still going to give him tilt in. I think Democrat turnout might be at an extreme all-time high in North Carolina. That could be a really bad take. I don't know. I think turnout in general is going to be low, but I think in North Carolina, it's going to be pretty high for Democrats. Especially since if you look at the county shifts for North Carolina, Republicans are maxing out all across the country of the counties that used to be competitive, that they are winning by a lot now. Like the counties that like used to be like 4 points red or 4 points blue in 2000, almost all of those counties are now like 50 points red. But you notice from 2016 to 2020, those are some of the only years that some of those counties didn't even shift red. Like Republicans have maxed out their support in places like northern Georgia and northern South Carolina, where you'll see Greensville shift blue for the first time in a very long time from 2016 to 2020, and just like McMaster in 2018. Like you'll see like northern South Carolina shift more, and it's pretty interesting. You'll also see like Ohio. Ohio obviously used to be a lot more competitive and Democrat leaning to a degree presidentially. Or I mean, I guess it didn't really ever lean anywhere presidentially, but you know what I mean. And now it's just like there's no way. But I'm also seeing Trump kind of. I'm seeing what the governor had in 2022 as the cap for Republicans in the future. So like in 20 years, I think that no one really outdoes like a 30-point win in Ohio. And I think when it gets to that, especially when you see Southern Ohio and Cincinnati start shifting blue, you have to wonder, could Ohio actually eventually come back? Will that actually overturn with Columbus and Cincinnati? Will that overturn the fast red shift that happened from 2012 to 2016? Did Trump really max out that support in those smaller counties that carried him to victory in the Rust Belt? And like I said, my answer is I really do think so. And especially you see North Carolina, the little panhandle of North Carolina, one of the fastest bluish shifting parts of North Carolina. And like one or two of these counties could be enough to just shift North Carolina to Harris overall. And again, if Harris wins North Carolina, she probably does not need Pennsylvania, because if she wins North Carolina, she's probably winning Nevada, Wisconsin, and Michigan. I am giving her Michigan and Wisconsin regardless. Both leans still. I've seen one poll for the first time in like a month where Trump was up in Michigan. I'm really concerned about that. I actually I follow Polling USA on Twitter. I don't know if anyone knows about them, but they are like they're a pretty fun account, and they actually like I mean, obviously there's more than one polling account, but they like say who the polls are from, and that led me to do a thing about how good is Trafalgar really. And I went to 2022. Trafalgar had Republicans winning New Hampshire. They had Republicans like in the Senate. They had Bolduc winning. They had Mark Kelly. They had Blake. What's his name? I don't know his name. I apologize. They had Blake in Arizona winning. I forgot his name. Blake Masters. Blake Masters? No, I'm thinking of more than McMasters. I'm sorry. I can't really think of his name right now, but he did just, I believe he just lost his nomination for his House like he wanted to get nominated for a seat to run for the House this year, and he just lost that too. Point is, shitty candidate. Whatever. I'm not going to talk any more about that because I went too far off track, and I know people get pissed when I do that. I for the meantime am moving Pennsylvania to lean. I think that Harris is doing much better in PA. I think she made it very clear during the debate she's not going to ban fracking. Obviously, she supports a long-term solution for the climate that will make it to where I feel like if it gets down to the fact where if we can replace fracking without losing any jobs, which is going to be possible if there's like compliance. Like this is something that I'm pretty happy about. These energy jobs that the Biden administration has been getting for a lot of the people who've been working on stuff like that. And I don't know. It's just a big part of their job increasing that they've been getting. And I think like 800,000 clean energy jobs. Stuff like that it's what's going to make it available for Democrats to actually get rid of fracking without a ton of pushback maybe in 10, 15, 20 years. When it's okay to afford that and when fracking isn't as useful and when hopefully Democrats don't need to actually manually do anything and hopefully workers alone will just shift generally to the energy business, the independent energy business. So another thing I'm going to do, I think for this video, I was gonna go into this video putting Georgia as blue, but I am gonna put it as red now. Again, no crazy particular reason. Yeah, okay, that sounds so stupid. Someone pointed that out. When I say that, I mean no reason, as in I'm changing it from my last one. It's so close. It's really the same situation as it was a week and a half ago. So it's really only my personal feel and momentum. Like, that's the only thing you can go off in a state like Georgia right now. And I think that, I don't know what the effect of where debates actually happen, if that actually had effect on Pennsylvania specifically. Like, so I know, okay, so like Pennsylvania, the debate was in Pennsylvania. Is she leading by 3 and 4 points now in Pennsylvania specifically because of the fact that it was in Pennsylvania? Would she do any better if she was in Georgia and the debate was in Georgia? I can't really tell you that. I don't know how much that actually matters, but my general opinion is that Georgia, as of this exact moment, as long as the governor Brian Kemp is supporting Trump, which it seems like he is as of right now, I feel like that's going to be enough to push them over the edge in Georgia. And I think if Harris really ends up losing, actually, you know what? I'm going to take the last minute to talk about something that's been in the news. First of all, I'm going to put Maine second at likely, and I'm going to put Nebraska second at likely as well. So this comes out to something pretty interesting, because let's think of what's a good way to put this. So, okay, say Trump won Wisconsin, right? And okay, say Trump won Wisconsin and Nevada. No, let's do this a different way. I'm sorry. I'm trying to explain the Nebraska thing. If anyone's heard about the Nebraska thing, I want to go over that. Let's say. Hold on. I know. This might be mildly annoying for someone. So say, okay, 12. I need 12 points here. How do I get to... Okay, my point is, if there's a tie, it's a lot less likely to be a tie, because Nebraska Republicans are trying to ban something, which is the law of the winner-take-all system. They want to get rid of that for the precincts, and they want to make that to where Trump would just get all 5 electoral votes, which I don't know where that factors on election interference, and if that bill can even get passed at this moment. It looks like they are a couple people short of that being able to happen. I'm not exactly sure how that vote's going to happen, but it is scary for Democrats, because there is a scenario where they tie here, and I'm sorry I can't find it. I feel like this is so annoying. I guess, okay, you know what? I found the tie scenario. This map, but Nevada, and if it was a winner-take-all system, it ends up being a tie instead, is what I mean. It wouldn't break a tie. It would make it a tie instead. So if they put that law in Nebraska and Trump just wins Nevada on top of this map, he would be the new president if Republicans hold the House, I believe. I used to think it was the current House that voted on who the next president would be, but I saw something online and it said that the new Congress would actually vote on this. So Democrats, if that's true, Democrats really need to win the House this year so they could put Kamala Harris in. But we'll see. And I think I for now, I'm obviously not. I don't think that law is going to get passed in Nebraska. That shouldn't be a scenario, and it'll be crazy if that happens. But I think it's going to come down to just a couple states, and in this map specifically, it's going to come down to a district in Nevada, and Nevada, not in Nevada. All right, sorry for rambling off with a couple last minutes. I'm just trying to push this video out. Thanks for everyone watching. Just subscribe if you want to. I do pretty good historically with predictions. You can go back. I've done pretty good for myself, I'd say. Thanks for watching.